Okay guys, so what do you know? Brown Mountain is open again. I'm over here today on my gravel bike, which I would rather be on one of my mountain bikes. I'm not sure I'm ready for my single speed right away. Got to work my way up to that. But my mountain bike is ready to go. And today on my gravel bike, and I want to talk about 2x systems on a gravel bike as an alternative to the more modern 1x for a couple reasons. Number one, the versatility of having a long range. So what I have set up today is a 48 and a 30. It's a crazy wide spread of my front chain rings. And then on my cassette, I have an 11 to 34. So not big of a range. Not that big of a range. It's basically an Ultegra cassette. And it's nice for when you're on the road. You want that tighter grouping when you're kind of finding your pace gear and you're pacing along like my Century rides, and I'm picking a gear that feels like it is giving me the cadence that it's comfortable. But it doesn't give me a real low, mullet gearing. I say mullet because they've gone extreme. Even gravel bikes have 1050, 1052 on some of those cassettes. The largest cassette I have on my 1x is an 1146, but I could modify those to an 1150 if I did a couple other modifications, like get a longer cage or different derailleur pulleys. Garbaruk is doing some really nice upgrades with that. Wolf Tooth has been doing that for a while. I used the original Wolf Tooth when I did my first 1x11 mountain bike system that was done by retrofitting the Shimano 11 speed to a 1x. Worked out really nicely, and I like Wolf Tooth stuff, and I like Garbaruk stuff. So that's neither here nor there. But what I want to talk to you about is the ratio. The ratio is really dependent on your needs. Here locally we have steep hills, so the gearing is more aimed towards climbing, because the fact of the matter is you won't have long flats to pedal on. Our mountains are not long meadows, long flat sections, long gravel roads, country roads. They're nothing like that as one might encounter in other places of the world. Our mountains they shoot up from our neighborhoods. They're very steep. They go extreme, 20% incline, impossible climb. Like when I rode over there in Tahunga, on that climb, it was just deflating to your ego. And perfect place for VO2 max training. But if you're planning a long trip, you better plan on getting real spent on the beginning of that trip with those climbs. And I did go back there a little ways, but it was prohibitive of me going any longer. And that was when I had my 1x with a 38 to an 1146, so 3846 was as low as I can go, and that was not low enough. This one, 30 to 34 is as low as I can go, and it seems fine. I mean, it's also about your condition. I'm not young and as fit as many of my viewers are, but there are some of you guys that are older and really kill it. First time I got crushed on a climb was by a guy named Jeep that had been mountain biking all his life, going up to Mount Pacifico, and he's probably 20 years older than me. He crushed me. That was when I was in my, I don't know, late 30s, early 40s, and he was already 60 something. He was incredibly fit. Years and years of endurance legs. That's what it comes down to. He's got the endurance legs. So I'd like to think I'm getting there, but I'm also a realist, and that's why I bought that other chainring combo for this bike. It's a 44 down to a 26. And you're like, 26, Doug? That's like a granny gear on an old 3x9 speed. And it is. But I'm gonna rock it. I'm gonna put that on here. And I also have a cassette that's a Shimano XT cassette 1144 that I'll put it back. And as you guys know, I keep my stuff up, so that cassette is still perfectly fine. I didn't wear it on the teeth. Always used new chains, and then most recently, the last 4 years, I've been using chain wax on everything, and that's making my chains and cassettes last an amazingly long time. So, and I don't mind replacing them. I replace my chain just at the hint of wear, because I don't want to deal with a broken chain, and I've had to do that before. So I'd rather just replace them. It's a inexpensive fix. Even a high-end chain is like $80, and that's inexpensive in the bigger picture of a high-end cassette or even chainring set. So the chainring set that I got was obviously the matching chainring set for this one. So it's a White Industry chainring set, and it'll pair up to this. The only downside is I have to pull my cranks off, and it direct mounts to the bigger ring. So I can change the smaller ring without taking it off, but I need to change the big ring first to that 44. So I'm going to do 4426. I don't know why I would do 4430. I might as well use the 26 as a smaller one at that point. But should you decide on some wild combo, that's what's nice about going with a small manufacturer like White Industry. I have their cranks on here. It's not my first thing from White Industry. I've got their hubs on my other bike. I've got their other stuff. That's my mom. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Let me answer that call.